Commissioner, your agency has received multi-letters on the unchecked market of illegal, unregulated Chinese vapor products. I know you've been talking about that. It's pouring across our border. These Chinese manufacturers that distribute in the U.S. are treating the FDA as it doesn't even exist by bypassing your authority, supplying millions of Americans with products you haven't looked at, and cheating a level of lawlessness that makes the FDA regulations look like a joke, be perfectly honest. A local study in D.C. found that 99 out of 100 that were looked at, vapor products, were totally illegal. And that just, when I saw that statistic, it really blew my mind. The FDA Center for Tobacco Products is supposed to oversee and keep illegal tobacco products out of the country, or at least get them off the shelves after the fact. I can tell you that your agency is doing much of, I'll tell you that if your agency is doing much, if anything, to make a dent in this product. In fact, the Tobacco Center budget and the staff have grown exponentially over the last decade, and the illegal vapor products has even gotten worse. Let me ask you this. In 2009, Congress asked and expected the FDA to publish a rules requirement for foreign manufacturers to register with the FDA if they wanted to sell tobacco products in the U.S. It has been more than a decade since the FDA first told us it would issue these regulations for foreign policies. On these communist countries who could not import products unless they were registered. Earlier this year, the latest unified agency, FDA, yet again, punted that date for rules. Sir, I believe in the work you're doing. I've worked with physicians my entire life, and I appreciate what you're doing for this country. And I'm reading your bio here, and it says, as a top official of the FDA, that you are committed to strengthening programs and policies that enable the agency to carry out its mission and to protect and promote public health. Why? In 15 years, have we not got a rule that is written that we can use to enforce what we need to enforce?
I have to say I'm not aware of that specific rule, but to address your issue, which I think is
Do we have a rule in place now to stop these Chinese companies from doing this?
I'll have to get back to you on that because I don't.
In 2009, your agency, I know you weren't there in 2009. 2009, Congress asked and expected the FDA to publish that rule.
Well, I believe the solution to the problem is what we've already discussed. If there's one thing that seems to be bipartisan here, it's that these vaping products from China are not good for this country. They're flavored, they're not even sold in China to Chinese people. I think what we need is help from you to have a system that allows us to do this efficiently, to deal with it. There are 300,000 retail stores selling these products. We can't be in every one of them. And let me just mention two things related to what you said. Our budget is basically fixed. It hasn't grown. And we get no user fees from the vaping industry. The budget is totally funded by user fees. The vaping industry has gotten off scot-free from paying the user fees. So the money that we're spending to deal with the vaping industry is taken from other sources because there is no specific money to deal with the vapes. So we have a request in to have user fees that would allow us to put many more people on the ground. But again, as I've thought about this a lot, particularly as this problem has grown, I think the solution needs to be something that gets rid of, that makes it possible to move efficiently to stop this before it gets into 300,000 retail shops around the
That's the easiest way to do it, believe it or not. Cut it off. When the Chinese start losing product, when we start destroying their products at the ports that they're coming in, then we'll make an impact. I would also suggest that your department put together a skeleton of what you would like to see. Doesn't mean that's what will come through this committee and committees like it, but you can help us the most because most committees do not have a doctor that sits as a chairman, and he certainly does a fine job of sifting through some of this. So I would suggest that you put this policy together that you would like to see and submit it to us, a finished product, and then let us go through that.
I do feel compelled just to point out, this is my opinion. I'm sort of thinking
sir.
over the last few nights. It's not an administration policy at this point, but it just seems kind of obvious that if we're going to deal with this particular problem, and I want to distinguish it from other products like the pharmaceutical products where, you know, we can't just cut them off because they have benefits. Like my hypertension is treated by generic drugs that originate in other parts of the world. But flavored vaping products have no health benefit. And so it seems like there could be some agreement about how to efficiently take care of at least that problem. So I'll continue to work on it and look forward to working with you, whatever the right solution is.
Thank you, sir, and I yield.
Thank you. The gentlelady from Maine.